Hi, I'm Brian Jennings. I am an assistant professor of theater here in the theater division, and I'm one of the two co-directors on the Laramie project.
My name is Emma Dewitt. I am a Hartt Theater Division alumni, and I'm the other co-director on the Laramie project.
That makes two of us. The Laramie project is a documentary theater project that was done by the Tectonic Theater Company. They were investigating the events in and around Laramie, Wyoming, following the murder of Matthew Shepard, who was a gay University of Wyoming student who was murdered by two young men who lived in Laramie in 1998.
It's about, a community's response to a tragedy. It's about how a community or a nation or an environment can foster an environment in which heinous things like a hate crime can happen. It's sort of an investigative piece as to the conditions that led up to this point and the effect it has had on the community.
And also about how the community can move on after an event like this.
Absolutely. I guess I'll go first, and then if you feel completely different, then
Yeah, go ahead.
It's really cool. I mean, it's been really fun too. We worked together. I mean, obviously I had you in class and stuff. And then we worked together on Mr. Burns, but I was still a student then. So I was just like taking a lot in, did my little dance situation, gave some notes and stuff. My acapella,
Thank you.
Yeah,
my acapella
situation that included some dance. When I got brought onto this project, I originally was just going to be here for a sophomore project. And then I'm at the hair salon and I get a call from Kevin. He's like, actually, would you like to work on the Laramie project with Brian? And I was like, let me think about it. Duh, of course. This is also the largest scale in terms of cast and technical elements of production I've worked on. Getting to work with Brian has just been incredible. I feel like I've just been learning so much. I mean, I'm obviously very early on in my career, but it's been amazing getting to work with Brian again. I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like I'm learning a lot from the students too, so. Yeah. I mean,
for me, it's kind of a piece of a natural progression. I always wind up working with my former students in one way or another. You know, so many people I've taught over the years have become colleagues as they go on. It's like the teaching doesn't end when you graduate, doesn't end when you leave the classroom. You know, in this business, the mentoring is something that continues for a lifetime. Really. So it's part of a really natural progression to me. So it's great to have Emma along.
Yay!
And, have Emma back in a slightly different role than we were back last time. So it's really cool. The design was, from the inception going to be a very, very projection heavy design. It's just, I think projection adds a sort of quality that it aids in the documentary telling, but it also aids in the expressionistic telling of it. So we're working with a projection designer that I've been working with for probably about a dozen years, a little more than a dozen years this time, Andrew Reardon. It's a really rich kind of multimedia environment with a combination of archival video, just expressionistic video, and some live shots of the cast, where we need to go with a given picture.
Yeah, and it creates a lot of freedom in terms of what we're able to do and what we're able to express through visuals. The set itself is very minimal. I mean, it's just a platform, some chairs, and a ladder. Besides this, we've been very low maintenance. There's a lot of freedom in terms of leaning into either more of the documentary style, creating the documentary style environment, or leaning into what is the emotional truth of that moment. We've been playing a lot with color, a lot with different real historical images versus more abstract stuff. It's really uplifts the show in a very natural way.
One of the reasons I think I was brought on here as a full-time faculty member was because of my work in multimedia direction, multimedia theater making. So this is kind of a new step in terms of, I think, Hartt Theater, in terms of the design process and the integration of video into our theater designs. But, it's kind of bringing us, I think, into line with a lot of contemporary theater design that's just happening out in the world right now.
feel like I've learned a lot throughout this process. I've learned a lot about, especially the technical stuff that goes into projection work. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how challenging it is, but like really, it's just coming out amazing. I mean, something that I've really taken away from this, and this is something that we kind of came in at the beginning thinking about, was how, and everybody says this, but how important it is to be doing this show right now, which again, everybody says that sentence, but particularly this show at this time. I mean, we are in a political climate that is obviously turbulent and really scary, and a piece as frequently produced as the Laramie Project, it's easy in times that are less politically turbulent to sort of distance ourselves, especially as like an East Coast, more liberal audience, from the subject matter and from the acts that were committed, and say, well, that's not what we're like, that would never happen. Things are so much better now than they were 20, 30 years ago. And now that we're in a time in which we can't distance ourselves, we've proven as a country and as a society that we are like this, which is a line from the show, and a quote. Obviously, it's not just a line because it's all the text is pulled directly from interviews. It's a reminder that we are a part of a community, and that no act, whether it be a hateful or a positive one, is done alone. Everything is the product of the people and the moments that have led them up to that action. I think it'll be also really great for these students and for this community to see this show performed by members of the community, by people they know and love. A really affecting experience working on the show.
Co-directing is interesting because I think Emma and I we came from slightly different angles, I think, to this text, and had slightly different interpretations of where it wants to go, but needing to triangulate between this, I hope for both of us leads us to a fuller understanding, a more complete understanding. There's things Emma brought to the table that, I would not necessarily have emphasized. And I'm sure there's things the other way around. What's really interesting, theater wants to be objective and universal in some way. So it's great to have diverse perspectives coming to play. The other thing, working on the piece, I've learned a lot about the play itself. How the play itself really operates from a place of compassion for everybody involved. Not just compassion for the victims, but compassion for the perpetrators as well. And asks us to look at the entire picture of what caused this to happen. There's just one line. What did we teach you? How did you learn this? What did we teach you as a society that made you capable of killing another human in such a brutal way? How did you learn that was okay? Right? And so it really presents a very, very complex picture of this crime, and asks us to think about it in all of its complexity, and not to look away, to look in the mirror and not look away. And that's been hard. Come see the show! Come see the show. Bring tissues.
Yes. Be prepared. There's 2 intermissions, so take care of yourself, I guess.
Yeah. One of the things I think Emma has brought to the table is really this idea for the actors of how do you take care of yourself when you're working through this material night after night after night after night after night. And it is hard, and one of the things I would encourage our audiences to do, and we've tried to work in moments where we give the audience just a chance to breathe, a chance maybe to laugh a little bit, and a chance to process what they've just experienced before they leave the space.
I mean, grief and a community response to any sort of tragedy, it's layered. The show isn't all just one thing. And that, in the experience of something like this is not just one thing. So there are moments of levity. I mean, there's a lot of love in this show, and there's a lot of opportunity for reflection. And I think that this will be a really good experience for the Hartt community to come see this play. So.